Ready whenever you are, Quentin.
Okay, so first things first, thanks so much to everybody for signing on to this virtual early grad presentation that we're going to talk about today. So I'm assuming that everybody that signed on is an early grad, meaning that they're going to graduate in December and are thinking about or just interested in starting at IVCC in the spring of 2021. So we're basically going to talk about that today, and we're not going to keep on going for like 4 hours or anything like that. So we're going to try to make it short and sweet and worth your time. So first, let's do introductions. Azarette, do you want to start?
Sure. How about yourself, though?
I'd prefer to wait.
Okay. Suspense. I'm Ezra Loveland. I serve as the Assistant Director for Admissions, Records, and Transfer Services here at IVCC, and I'm excited to know and learn anything that you guys might have questions about.
Hi everyone, my name is Gracelyn Quessy. I'm the Student Recruitment Specialist, and we're excited to get you guys started this spring.
Hi everybody, I'm Misty Killian. I am a counselor here at IVCC, and I am really happy you guys are going to be joining us in the spring, and I wish you the best of luck.
Okay, cool. So I am Quentin Overacker. I'm Director of Admissions, Records, and Transfer Services at IVCC. And so we're going to get started with this presentation. And
hey, is it true that you don't have to apply to register for classes?
No, interrupting Iris. It is. So that totally threw me off. Sorry, I devoted a lot of mental energy to coming up with a name that started with an I, and now I'm off track. So first things first, as Azarette just asked, you do have to apply to IVCC to register for classes. And so that's kind of how we're going to outline this whole presentation. Is we're going to go over the enrollment checklist. So the steps that you need to take. We're going to have ample time for questions. And then we're going to read the TikTok Terms of Service and Data Agreement while Azarette dances to a TikTok thing. I sound super old. So there's that, a TikTok thing. That's what all the kids are calling it these days. So for those of you who haven't completely lost interest already, here's what I want to tell you about. First things first, no matter what, apply to IVCC, because this is going to get you in the pipeline, in the communication pipeline, and we're going to let you guys know what to do next. So it's super easy. All you got to do is go to ivcc.edu and then click on the big apply button on the right-hand side of the screen. For those cool cats and kittens who want to go straight to the application, go to ivcc.edu/apply. So that's your first step. Once you apply, you're going to apply for spring 2021. You'll be in the system.
So Quentin, say I was an early grad and I had just applied, what would my next big step be, hypothetically speaking, or actually speaking?
That is a absolutely fantastic question. It's almost like we planned these out ahead of time. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is think about placement testing, and essentially what classes you can take when you're at IVCC with respect to English and math. And so that's where the placement tests come in. And so we strongly recommend that all students take placement tests, and you can sign up just by going to ivcc.edu/assessment. And they'll have all kinds of information on there. Or I guess ivcc.edu/placement is a little bit better link to go to. And sign up for those placement tests. Missy, do you want to talk briefly about that before we get to you for a little later on?
No. Of course. So we can look at a variety of different things to use for placement in as far as math, reading, and English goes. We can look at your SAT sub-scores, your ACT sub-scores if you took that. We can look at how much math you had in high school. We can look at your overall GPA, and there are a lot of different pieces to the puzzle we can use as far as placement goes. We always recommend that students take the math placement test, however, because we can only place you so high with an SAT score or whatever your high school situation was. So especially if you know you're going into a field down the road that requires upper level math. So we usually, I shouldn't say always, we usually recommend that you do take the math placement portion of the test. The English and reading, depending on your sub scores on your testing, your SAT or ACT, we can place you at college level English, and that's as high as you can go there. So if you have any questions on whether you need to take the placement test or not, you can call the counseling center with your SAT sub-scores, your ACT sub-scores, or if you want to have your high school transcript in front of you, we can talk to you a little bit about that and let you know if you need to take those placements.
Thank you, Missy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so like Missy said, there's a lot that goes into looking at placement tests and scores and all that sort of stuff. So if you do have questions, call the counseling center or reach out to us. You can call us or text us.
And this seems like a lot already for the students, and they've got so much going on. Can you just get to it?
Yes, I certainly can. That does seem like a lot because there's a lot of words that we use when it comes to placement and applying and all that other stuff. So here's the deal. You apply, you send us your high school transcripts with your test scores on them if you have those ACT, SAT test scores. And then basically what we want you to do next is reach out to a counselor like Missy, because what they're going to do is they're going to talk with you and figure out what your academic plan is, and then they're going to help you out. And so what you're going to do, call 815-224-0360, and we're going to show that at the end of the presentation. But again, it's 815-224-0360 to set up an appointment. So Missy, as a counselor, can you give a rundown of what a counseling meeting is like? Question.
Yes. First of all, I like to let everybody know that we're here to help you throughout your career. It's not like we're going to give you all this information at the beginning of your career and say, be gone, good luck. So we work with students both, every semester that you're here, you can come and work with us on picking your schedule or looking at what your transfer plan might be. So when you first start with us, you'll come in, we look at your placement test, we discuss what your end game is. Do you want to transfer? Do you want a certificate from us? Do you want something in a technical field? We determine what your goal is if you know. And if you don't know, it's okay too. We can kind of tell you about what your options are, and we can try to keep things, keep options open right away for your first semester, so that you can have a little time then to define what your goal is. And then as you get ideas, you can come and work with us. And then we can kind of say, okay, well, if you want to transfer here and major in this is what it would look like here at IVCC. So we talk about that stuff. We also get down to the nitty gritty and we look at what classes you're going to be taking, and we can help you build a schedule each semester. And so we really like to get to know our students and make sure that you're choosing the most efficient coursework to get to your end goal. And also along the way, if you have any concerns, problems, questions, we're here for that too.
So Missy, with that, what advice would you give to a student to prepare? What should they come already thinking about or you have in hand when they talk to you guys, either virtually or on the phone?
Okay, so we really do need your placement information. So it would be great if you do need the placement test to have that done, and so that we can take that into consideration when we're planning your classes for the next semester. Also, if you have some idea about what you want to major in or what you want to pursue, that's helpful for us to know. And again, if you don't know, that's all right. But it is time to start thinking on that a little bit, and we can help point you in some different directions for exploration as well.
Thank
Well,
you.
that actually seems really doable now. So I've applied. I'm gonna take my test scores and send them in and my transcripts, get placement all set up. I think I'm ready and excited to meet with my counselor.
Hypothetically, yes, you are excited. So once you meet with a counselor, you're going to register for classes. So after you've talked with Missy or another counselor and you found out, okay, I'm going to take these 2 classes because I'm also working a part-time job, or I'm going to take these 5 classes because I want to get done as soon as possible. You're going to register for those classes, and you've got different ways you can do that. You can go online on WebAdvisor, which we're going to send you all that information with tools for how to log in, how to create your account, and all that sort of stuff. So you can do so again online from home. You can register for classes. You can give us a call at 224-0447 and we can get you registered over the phone. Or if you feel like coming in, you can come in. You got to wear a mask, obviously, but you can come into CTC 101 on the main campus in Oglesby, or you can stop by the Ottawa Center and we can get you registered for those classes as well. Real quick, this is as an aside, one thing that's helpful is to check if you're eligible for our Project Success program here on campus. It's students who qualify are either low income or come from low income families, have learning disabilities or physical disabilities, or are first generation college students, which means your parents did not graduate from college. So if you meet one of those criteria, you should definitely reach out to Project Success because they do super cool stuff like cultural events. They have study groups. They help students out. They've got a free space where students can come to do homework. And it's a really limited group, so they get kind of individualized attention.
All right, Quentin, I'm curious, will you be paying for all these students' tuition?
I paid for everybody last year, and so the funds kind of ran out. So been eating a lot of beans, a lot of lima beans. Those went on sale a while back, and getting kind of sick of them. So since I can't pay for you guys for spring this year, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. You look at financial aid first and foremost. So you should have already. Hopefully you did. If you didn't, that's okay. You're not too late, but get on it soon. Apply for financial aid. And the very first step in that process is to go to fafsa.gov. So it's FAFSA, fafsa.gov, and fill out your free application for federal student aid. This can basically get you in the pipeline for if you qualify for grants, which is money you don't have to pay back, or if you don't qualify for the grants, you may be eligible for student loans, which has a much lower interest rate than somewhere else. So again, first step, apply for financial aid because you may be able to utilize that to help you get classes paid for. If you don't qualify for financial aid, or if it's just something that doesn't work out, you can set up a payment plan. And so what that is once you register for classes, you're going to check out ivcc.edu/payment, and they're going to have all the details on how to sign up for one of those payment plans. Basically, what a payment plan is it breaks your tuition bill down into 3 or 4 or 5 chunks, depending on when you sign up for it. So you don't have to pay it all at once. If you're just stacks on stacks on stacks and you just want to go ahead and pay for those classes, you can do that over the phone with a credit card. You can bring in just wads of money. That works too. And you can also pay on WebAdvisor once you get that set up too. So I would recommend, again, I think check out the financial aid stuff ahead of time, apply for that FAFSA even before you meet with a counselor, but you won't actually pay for classes until you register for them after November 1st. That's not even a word. November 5th. November 5 is the actual date, although I am going to lobby for Firth being another date in November, but it is actually November 5th.
That's fantastic. So students, you can see just an overview visually what those steps are in summary. So I hope that gives you a better idea of what those next steps are, or if you've already completed something and can just remind you where you can pick up. And with that, here is all of our contact information. We would love to assist you in any way. If you have any specific questions, if you want to just kind of get an idea of what those online learning resources are, onboarding any of your technology. So that is our information. And with that, I'll hand it over to Quentin.
So you can see at the bottom, don't hesitate to text us at 815-224-0439. You can call us if you want to talk on the phone. You can text us and we can get you to the right people. But the bottom line is, the moment you have a question, please reach out, because obviously you guys are early grads. You're kind of accelerating the process. Congratulations, by the way, that's super cool, but your process is looking a little bit different than the rest of your senior class. So we want to help you every step of the way. So it's super important that, one, you apply, and then two, you reach out to us anytime you have a question. We always check the texts. We always obviously pick up the phone, that sort of thing. So we had a couple questions that you guys submitted. If you have any now, feel free, shout them out or chat. You can chat in the little chat box deal. Or like I said, shout them out or whatever. Somebody actually, Missy, I'm going to get your take on this, because I know you got to leave here in a couple minutes. But one of the questions that a student submitted is there talk of when school will be doing in-person instruction again? So we do actually have in-person instruction now, but can you just give a quick overview of what some of the students you've worked with are doing this semester, Missy?
Yeah, so we are offering classes in one of four ways. We have courses that are like our traditional online courses, and in those, you don't have to be on the computer in real time. There will be deadlines and things that you do have to meet. So it's not like self-paced or anything, but you don't have to be on the computer. If you're wanting to do homework at 2 in the morning, do homework at 2 in the morning, that's fine. So that's one way. The second way we are calling virtual class meetings. And those you do have to be on the computer at a specific time. So the lectures of the classes, you will be logging into Zoom and virtually attending the classes during those times. So you have to be available at that time. They are completely online though. Our third option is blended, and we have some classes like lab sciences, for instance, where you would do the lecture portion online and then maybe come to campus and do the labs. And then the fourth, and this one isn't as common, but we have some programs where you do just have to meet face to face. So automotive, you're working on cars, you got to be there. Welding, you can't do that online. So you have to be there. So those are actual face-to-face classes, but the majority of our classes are going to be online. Did that answer the question?
It certainly did. And so I think, Missy, like you mentioned, auto and welding and courses like that, the hands-on, if your end goal is to obtain a 4-year degree, you know, in like education or communications or history or something along those lines, the odds are good that a lot of your courses are going to be online. If you're looking at a 2-year degree or a certificate like auto, like welding, like manufacturing, something like that, there's a high likelihood that your courses will be in person. As far as, you know, when will things get back to normal with our schedule, our class schedule? Unfortunately, the answer is hard telling. We don't quite know about that, but that is what we're planning on doing for spring. What Missy just referenced is the 4 different class modes, and that's kind of where we're at. Autumn asked a wonderful question that I should have addressed at the start. So thank you so much, Autumn, for asking this. If I am in dual credit and applied for that, do I have to apply again? And unfortunately, Autumn, the answer is yes. But there's a good reason behind that. So you do have to fill out that application because it's a slightly different application. Plus, we need to know that you intend to come as we call it a first-time college student, which means you're out of high school. So what's important for that is you apply at ivcc.edu/apply, and then you're going to select what program you're interested in studying, which program is basically a major. And so definitely apply again, so that we can get all the information updated and start communicating with you the correct information. So I'm glad you asked that. Let's see. So like I said, feel free to chat if you have any other questions. We asked you a couple interesting questions to fill out on the survey. So what are you most looking forward to starting at IVCC this spring? And I just wanted to read a couple really cool responses that you guys submitted. One, new chapter. I love that because that was what was so important for me about college is I didn't necessarily love high school. I was really excited to get the heck out. And once I got to college, it was kind of cool because I was like, oh, I don't have to be that same person. I can do something different. Does anybody else, Azarette, Graceland, or Missy, want to kind of address that?
Yeah, I feel like it's a completely new slate, and you have a lot more freedom in terms of what classes you get to take, and it's a different feeling, especially if you know exactly what career, if you're one of those 2-year paths, that what you're doing is working directly towards what your career is going to be.
Yeah. So Shay just chatted a question. Do we take our gen ed classes before our placement test? So no, you'll actually want to do your placement test before you even register for your gen ed classes, because taking that placement test, or again, using those alternate modes of placement, is going to tell us what gen ed classes in English and math that you'll be able to register for. So the reason we do that is we want to put you in the appropriate English and the appropriate math. So let's say you were a math rock star in high school and you just, you are at a super high level. We want to see that on the placement test so we can put you in one of those high level courses. If you struggled with math like I did, and like basically 75% of people do, we want to get you in the right class so you can kind of hit the ground and feel pretty confident. Somebody else wrote for the, what are you most looking forward to? I'm mostly looking forward to learning all sorts of things that I am interested in, which is really the coolest thing about college is you get to focus on what you want to focus on. Now, if you're doing that 4-year degree, we want you to take some gen eds because we want you to know a wide array of things. But let's say you were in high school and you're like, God, get me out of this math, this English, this history, whatever. I just want to learn how to weld, or I just want to get a job. I want to do HVAC, or I want to do CNA or EMS, emergency medical technician, whatever. If you're looking at those certificates, you are just going to take courses in that subject area. So that's super cool. You don't have to take the stuff that you're not interested in. And then I'm not going to drag this out, I promise, but some other folks listed, we asked, what are you nervous about? And thank you so much to everybody for answering these questions. Just so you all know, everybody's nervous about something. So I'm glad you listed this because we see a lot of duplicate information, but new environment, absolutely. I was nervous about that myself. Nervous about how hard are the classes going to be, and how, are you going to get good grades in those classes? So Azarette, can you talk briefly about some of the resources available for students who are maybe a little bit concerned that the courses are going to be too hard for them?
Sorry, I was reading the chat and then I was listening to you and then I was multitasking.
That's okay. Missy, before you go ahead.
I was also reading the chat. So some of the services. Okay, so one of the beautiful things about a community college is that we have a whole lot of services in place to assist if a student is struggling. We have our disability services. We have a peer tutoring center. We have a writing center. So even if it's not an English class, if you're in a history class and you have to write a paper and you need some assistance on that, you can go to the writing center. If you are in an accounting class and you're struggling a little bit because that's a new topic for you, we've got tutors in the peer tutoring center. In the counseling center, if you're having some anxiety over something, you can come to the counseling or call the counseling center right now. Hopefully someday soon come in and talk to us about that. And we can try to get you the resources to help you where you are and help you move forward with your education. And so if you have any concerns or questions that way, you can let us know in the counseling center and we can get you to the right place on campus that's set up for that specific need.
Okay, Missy, I'm going to have you answer Shay's question. So he asked, do we have a firefighting class or program here? And so I'm also going to add to it though. So what about other students who may be interested in like rad tech or veteran or now I can't think of words.
Vet tech?
But vet tech, yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay, so we unfortunately we do not have a firefighting program here, but what we do have for programs that we don't have at IVCC, we have cooperative agreements with some of the other nearby community colleges, so that you could attend their program at their in-district rate. So you would have to eventually go there. But a lot of times students will start off here and take some of the general education classes that they may need. So for instance, if you were going to Sauk Valley for their rad tech program, we don't have it, but you could do your anatomy and physiology here. You could do your psychology, your English, your speech, any other courses that you needed along those lines before you transferred to that school to participate in their program. So any questions on that, you can call the counseling center and we can kind of talk to you about that as well.
Thank you. So the final question I want to answer before I let everybody go is what would you all say, and I'll start with you, Missy, because again, I know you got to go soon. What advice would you have for an early grad who is thinking about, you know what, I don't know that I really want to start this spring. You know, I'm just kind of iffy on it. Maybe I'll wait till fall. Maybe I'm not sure. What would you suggest for them in the spring semester?
Well, I can't suggest something for everyone, because what is important to me is that everybody is an individual and your path is different from everybody else's path. So I think for a student who was questioning if this was the right choice, I would suggest, you know, hey, let's have a talk about it. Let's kind of see what your priorities are, and let's see where your end goal is, and are you working, and what's going on in your life, and see if this is the time for you to start or not. And you know, you guys are awesome for being here right now, because this is the time to be thinking about it. We registration hasn't even begun for the spring, so you are right on track with everybody else who wants to sign up for the spring, and it's great. So we have a little time for those conversations. So by all means, if you're not sure, give us a call. We're happy to talk to you about that stuff.
Thanks, Missy. Graceland, do you?
And I gotta go. I have an appointment at 4, but thanks everybody for coming. It's been fun, and I can't wait to meet you all.
I would say my advice would be to just stick with it. Now's your time to explore. I know that there's a lot going on in the world, but once you have like the drive to continue on, and you are already ahead of your classmates in terms of graduating early, so congratulations on that. But this is a great time to explore. Even just start the conversation, and you don't have to start in the spring, but act like you are, and so you'll be even more prepared for fall, because then you're doing a research for that as well. So my advice would just be to just keep doing your research, think spring, and don't let the senioritis get to you.
Azarette, how about you?
Yeah, I would just share, invest in a planner or use your phone or figure that out, and try to manage your time as best as possible, and saying, okay, I'm going to dedicate this time for class. And after that class, I plan to do so much time to do homework to get ahead. And of course, setting time for self-care. I think that's super important, especially during this time. So if that means just going for a walk or breaking up with your phone, do it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. Break up with your phone for sure. But first of all, I just realized I do the thing every time. I'm like your grandpa with a cell phone. I'm shouting into the electronic device. So sorry for anybody with earbuds if I've been deafening you. But my advice would be kind of similar to Missy's and Graceland's. Reach out to us. If you have doubts about it, that's perfectly normal. Everybody has doubts about it. Reach out to us, because we work with students who have been in your situation. Regardless of whether you're nervous about it or you're just not sure what to do, we're not going to try to, we're not like car salesmen or whatever trying to get you to buy something regardless of what's right for you. We want to work with you. And so maybe the answer that we're going to give you is, you know what? maybe this spring, if for whatever reason doesn't work, but the odds are pretty darn good that we'll be able to let you know what you can do, whether it's taking one class just to get a feel for it, whether it's taking a full semester of classes and then transferring, or whether to, again, we want to do what's best for you. We know that you guys all have questions because we had the exact same questions, and we work with students who have the exact same questions every single day. So if you don't feel like talking, because not many people like calling on the phone anymore, send us a text and just say, I'm not sure what the heck I want to do, or I know what the heck I want to do. What do I do next? We're always here to help. So thank you all so much for being here. We're going to record this. Again, just please reach out to us with any questions you have, and we look forward to seeing you in the spring. And congrats on graduating high school early. That's super cool. Thanks, Shay. I appreciate you too.